What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Wars. I'm going to be breaking down the best trading opportunities for the day, as well as potential swing trade setups. So if you're ready, let's step into the war zone. All right. So the first thing that we do each and every day is establish support and resistance. So I have the previous day's high, as well as the previous day's low marked coming into today, as well as the week's low at the time. So the first thing we have to do is have our support and resistance, as well as think about our bias on what direction we want to play the day. So going into the futures chart, we can clearly see a few clues to help us determine who's winning and what direction we need to be playing. So we had this consolidation over the last few days, and last night I caught a short right over here, and we attempted to break through this previous support and collapse for the bears to take control of this market. And unfortunately for the bears, we had this hammer candle show up and turned everything around, which ended up being a bear trap. So the bears were caught trying to push lower, and immediately they got turned around. So I was able to get out for break even, luckily, but we could see coming into the open that the bears were on a timer and they were not able to convert and take control of this market. And therefore, the direction that we were looking for today was bullish. So we opened right here on 9:30, right in the inside of the previous day's range, near the low of the previous day. So anytime that happens, I'm looking for opportunities to go long as we're near support. And we had this double bottom type of setup here right in the morning, this consolidation. But unfortunately for the bulls, this one broke immediately. So the first opportunity was a loser on the day. However, as we broke through the previous day's low right here, this was a great opportunity for the shorts, because we know that once support is broken through, that we can follow through to the next pivot. So for the shorts, if they were shorting below this low here with a stop loss right above this candle, that would have been a great play for them to take a short, and they would need to take it where? To the next pivot, which was the week's low at the time. So as we came to the week's low, we're looking at what's going to happen. Are we going to actually break through this week's low and start another bearish trending day like we had on Monday? Or is it going to be a false breakout? And we got a false breakout today, which was a setup by a nice inside bar. So right at the week's low, this is a typical setup where bears or bulls become trapped. And in this case, the bears, as many people tried to short below this pivot, but instead we got sucked up immediately with an inside bar. So this inside bar, once we broke through the high, ended up being the low of the day, where we had this nice push into the close. So how you would have played this setup was entering one tick above the high, stop below the low of the inside bar, and we could have easily gotten to 2R, 3, 4, and even all the way up to 6 if you had the confidence to hold it there. To be safe, we could take it to the previous day's low, which we know could be resistance, or we could take it back up to that today's high, which was also an intermediate resistance. So at least I would say 2R on this play, which is a great day trade. So looking for the next opportunity, we see that after we had this impulsive leg up, there was a pullback. So anytime we have a pullback, I want to draw the Fibonacci's to help me get an idea of where we can find support. And we had this beautiful base at the 50% retracement. We had a nice double bottom and an engulfing candle and a hammer, which was an A+ setup. So how we could have entered on here, entry above the high, stop below the low, and we could have taken this either right back up here to the day's high at the time, or to this previous pivot, which is over here. Also, we can use the Fibonacci extensions, which are just measured moves of the retracement. So we could have taken it right here at the 382 or the 50, or if we were very confident in the long, we could have taken it back up to the 618, which was pretty close to the day's high. So those are the awesome trades on the day trade side, looking at the RTH. And from a overnight chart, looking at the futures chart, what were the opportunities there? So like I said, we had this basing pattern, this trap for the bears, and then we had pushed up at the open and we started pulling back. And anytime we have an impulsive leg in one direction, I'm looking for the fibs to be areas of support to continue this trend. And we could see here that we had a touch of the 886, which is the last line of defense for the swing low before that's broken. So if you were able to front run this or catch it on a lower time frame, this would have been an awesome trade where at the highest point of the day, it's 12 hour, which is life-changing money, guys. All right. And then the last trade, which I was able to get involved in, was once we had this big hammer here, I noticed that we had these double inside bars inside this hammer. And I noticed we had an attempt by the bears again to try to short. So the bears were trying desperately today to short this market at all costs. They tried overnight and they tried again at the regular trading hours. So my thesis was once we break through these pivots here that we should squeeze through. So I was able to get involved right above this pivot with a stop on a lower time frame, and I was able to trail, and I got taken out here, which is a little bit early, but I'm okay with locking in profits at the end of the day. So that was the last trade of trading opportunity of the day. Now looking into tomorrow, you know, the bulls have already started this V bottom setup, and we could see it clearly here with this hammer on the 4-hour chart. So I wouldn't be surprised if we retrace a little bit for anyone who missed the long to get on overnight. That's what usually happens. Or we can just squeeze higher. And the last most unlikely scenario is we break through all of these pivots. It'll take something significant for us to really break through these pivots. But if we do, there are a lot of trap bulls at that point, which would be a great shorting opportunity. All right, guys. So we talked about, you know, support and resistance, looking at the bias, the setups and the targets, potential P&L. So at least, you know, if you took 3 trades, 2 winners, 1 loser, let's say you walk away with anywhere between 2 to 3 R, and let's convert that to some money. So let's say you have a 20K account and your risk is $400 a trade. So if you make 2R, that's 800. Okay. So if you're walking away with 4R today, you're walking away with $1,600 in profit, which is pretty awesome for a day trade. All right. So that's life-changing money, guys. And, you know, that's what I teach in my apprentice program and with the students that I work with. As always, check me out on Twitter. And on Twitter, I post the pre-market plans for free, as well as some intraday setups that I see, and, you know, just general trading tips in general. So follow me here and check me out. I'm at 1,417 followers. I just started back in April, so I'm very, very happy from all the support that everyone has given to me. And then the last thing that I want to show you guys is a sneak peek at my new website that's coming. And this is going to basically have all my educational content.